Critter. What is a critter and how does it deal with sealing? More coming right up. Hey, it's Henry from Woodworking by LPI. How you doing today? Today we're going to be talking about a device that I use for sealing majority of my signs. Probably 90-95% of the personalized custom wood signs that I do. After I stain them, I seal them, of course. So they have longevity and can stand up to elements and such. But how do you do that? Most folks will do the generic thing of using a brush and such. But today we're kind of get into how I do it so I can have more of a production and more of a volume and still come out with a beautiful sign without stroke marks, and it really works really well for me. So that's what we're going to get into right now. So let's take a look at what I do to seal my signs and how I do it efficiently and at a volume. Okay, so most folks, when they seal, they use this. And this is okay. There's nothing wrong with this. I have nothing against this. But this takes a lot of time to do this. And when I first started out, this worked very well. Unfortunately, with the rise in business and the rise of sales, this became very time consuming. So I had to figure out a way to figure out how I could get sealer on evenly, but at a faster rate. As I'm cranking out signs. So what I came up with was something called the Critter. And I want you to know right up front, I am not sponsored by this device whatsoever. I want to get that disclaimer up front. This is just something that I wanted to do to help you out in case you're considering more of an efficient way of putting sealer on your signs. And or stain or paint. Some people use it for that. I exclusively use it for sealer, but you can use it for other things as well. So this is the Critter, and it's a very valuable tool for me. I've used it for several things. I've used it for sealing, obviously, poly, and I use a lot of oil or water-based or oil-based rather. And I've used it for gosh, a little over 2 years now. And this product is awesome. Okay, you can't beat it. It's really not that expensive. It looks a lot like the expensive ones you might see at like your Home Depot or Lowe's, you know, that have, and I'm not going to mention a brand name, but you get the idea. But it's really inexpensive. Don't quote me on it, but I want to say it's like $20-$30 maybe. That's off the top of my head. Don't quote me on that price, but very inexpensive, and it provides so much solution. So basically, I'm going to get it out here, but you can do, like I said, you can do all kinds. It says here you can do latex, enamel, stains, lacquers, polyurethanes, adhesives. You can do this for lots of things. I primarily use it for sealer, so to seal the signs. So I'm going to open this up and show you what it looks like. Remember the brush and how long it takes to do this, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. This is a very efficient way of doing it. I prefer this route here though. So the things you're going to need is you're going to need this, and you're going to need an air compressor. Okay, just your typical hookup line. Okay, and when you get it in the mail, you can get this off of Amazon, by the way. If you go to my products page on my website, woodworkingbylpi.com, I'll have a link to this on Amazon. It's where you can pick this up. So that's it. It's pretty simple. And there's some really cool features on it. Okay. Now, this is a new one. This is the one that I typically use. And as you can see, I've used it considerably. So I'll go into all the detail. But I thought it'd look better if we had a new one. So I always have an extra one lying around just in case. So how does this work? Well, basically you hook up your air compressor here, and it feeds through the handle, and here's your handle here for adjusting your spray. The spray comes out this nozzle end right here, and then down here it's a mason jar, and that's one of the cool parts about this. You can see what's inside of it, the level that's inside of it, And if this doesn't work for you, you can go get more mason jars. And mason jars you can get at Walmart for like really cheap, or again off Amazon. We all go to Amazon for lots of things, but I have a kind of a surprise at the end as to how you can increase the size of this and not have to worry about filling it up all the time. But okay, so this is your typical mason jar. That's really all it is. So let's take this apart, if I can get it apart. And you'll see the simplicity of this. Okay. So all it is this is the mason jar lid, which comes off like that. And it has this long tube right here, which is hollow. And it has a seal right around the edges here. And on top here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a hole here for vacuum. And then you have the nozzle here. So as the air comes across the end of this, it sucks the liquid out the bottom, and then it comes out the top, and then the air nozzle sprays it out. Now, how simple is that compared to those complicated ones that you get for like painting your walls or fence or whatever? You could use this on a fence. You can use it, like I said, it does latex and enamels and stains. It's really an easy way of doing it. And the cleanup on it is like super easy, as you can tell, because there's like hardly anything in it. So let's look at the mason jar. Of course, you're going to have your instructions inside. And it's a simple mason jar. That's all it is. So what I love about it, and kind of my motto out here in the wood shop, is simplicity. And this is very, very simple. I'm really glad I ran across this, and the idea of it is so nice. And so I've been using it for a couple of years now, and I'm not sponsored by this product whatsoever. So, but I like it, and I think you'll like it if you get a chance to get a hold of it. If you have an air compressor, it's the way to go. It's definitely the way to go. So I'm gonna put this back on. That's how simple that goes on. It's just a simple mason jar lid, like so. And I'm just going to put it right back on there like that. You put whatever you want to in here, whether stain, poly, or whatever. Okay, and you just strap it down, like so. It's real, real simple. That's how simple it is. Hook it up to your compressor, use your trigger, sprays. So, now you kind of know what this is. How can we improve upon it? Well, there's a lot of ways we can improve upon it. And let me put this back. So, as I mentioned, I get these down at Walmart. You can get a case of them, I think like 12. And if you're into canning and such, you see how it has the lid here and such. It's just your regular mason jar. And if the other one doesn't work, or if you have multiple ones that you're using for like different polys, different stains, or whatever for your wood signs, you can label these, and you can have different ones and then hook them up when you're ready. And close it up when you're not using it. So it makes it real, real simple. Again, simplicity. That's what I love about it. It's real, real simple. So this is what I use in it. I use the typical water-based poly, if I have that application. Hope you can see that. Oh, how about I put it so you can read it? There you go. And I use a lot of Minwix products. And this is the main one that I use, which is the Helmsman Spar. Okay, and this is an oil-based sealer. And this kind of puts a little bit of a reddish tint to your signs. Excuse me. Which really gives it a nice look. So this is the main one that I use, and majority, 99% of the signs that I create, I use this here. I use clear, I use lacquer, I use other things, but this is the main one. And this flows through it fine. Okay, that's all the pros to it. There is one con to it though. If you're a little lazy and not cleaning it, like me, on occasion I do that. Well, you can see that on occasion I don't clean this. It's really simple to clean. You can use thinner or mineral spirits, depending upon what you've put inside the bottom, to clean it out. Or I typically, if it gets clogged, you know, what I do is I take this off right here. It unscrews. I don't know if you can see that, but I unscrew this on top. And you can look through it to see, you know, if it's clear, if it's open, up in the light. And then really what I do is I just put it on the end like that. Hopefully you can see that. And then I pull the trigger of the air compressor and it clears it out. So you want to make sure that it's clear, and then you can just put it right back on. Now, the nozzle spray coming off of this is adjustable. So if you adjust the height on this by this, and it has a jam nut at the bottom, so it doesn't come loose. So really nice feature. But yeah, you should clean a little more than I do. But okay, so I'm going to spray one here a little bit and show you. I've taken a generic board right here and I've put stain on this side, and I left this one open here. So you can see, you know, how it looks, and you can also see how it's sprayed. Now, please note anything that you do with this sprayer is hooked to a compressor. And also please note that if you're using something as like an oil-based sealer, or anything that has any VOC fumes or whatever, that you use the appropriate mask and such. Okay, because this gets in the air and it kind of floats for a little bit if you and you're in a shop. And if it's not well ventilated, or you don't have a capability of ventilating, then you might want to consider obviously using a mask, because safety. We always think about safety. Dust, oils. That's the downside of, unfortunately, of working with wood. Sometimes we work with products, you know, that have VOCs or concerns or fumes and things of that nature that get in our lungs, which is not a good thing. So, all right, let's go where we've been. This is a real quick video. So we've gone from the brush to the critter, which is awesome. Get you a good look at that. And I'm going to show you at the end here, I'm going to show you a way you can increase the capacity of that thing. Really simple. Okay, so let's get this sealed, and we'll take a look at that, and we'll get back to the bonus at the end. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm going to hand hold you here for a few minutes. We're going to seal this sign with that critter that I just showed you, and I got this board here. Part of it's stained, part of it's not stained, so I can show you the effect. What I'm looking to show you here is not necessarily how it looks with the stain from the sealer perspective, more from the critter perspective and its performance. So I'm going to use a screw board here, and this is another, there we go. I'm going to use the screw board here, and this is another one of my like homegrown creations. And what I do is I set the boards on that so it's not sitting on the table. I set it up on the screw board, and I don't know if you can get a good view of what that looks like underneath, but you can see the separation that it puts underneath there. So I'm going to use the screw board, and put the board on. I'm going to use the critter and show you exactly how it works. And let me get my safety respirator and everything on, and we'll get right to it. Okay, I mentioned that I was going to show you a bonus at the end, and the bonus for extra capacity on your critter, okay? And that is buying the bigger mason jar. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference between that capacity on that compared to that. Quite a bit of difference there, right? Well, this is what comes with the critter, and this is what you can use. And you have to go back and fill it up so many more times. So if you're doing a lot of sealing, painting, or whatever, this one works a lot better. And I know what you're saying. Okay, hold on. So you look in this and you see that that tube that goes down inside the critter, but it doesn't go down all the way. So does that work with that one, right? Well, obviously, when you get down to a certain level, it's going to go, you know, heck with you. And you won't have any more coming out because it's too deep. Well, there's a way to overcome that. So, what do I use? Straws. I know, crazy, right? It's the simplest thing to extend that tube right there down further to use the bigger jar. Jar right there. And believe me, it works really well. So I'm going to take out a straw here. And we're going to put it on the end, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. These are the really cool straws, you know, when you were a kid, you know, that move. Anyway. So you really don't need a whole lot of this to do that. So I'm going to take this apart and then pick up the seal off the floor that come with it. And by the way, you know, you can buy maintenance kits for these things, which include the new flange here up on the top, the spring, as well as a new tube. You can buy maintenance kits for these as well. So if it gets to the point that, you know, it's overwhelmed, and you may not be able to use it, you know, you can buy a maintenance kit. So, and I'll put that on the product page as well, so you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. It really doesn't need to go down that far. Okay, as you can see, that tube, hopefully you can see that, that tube does not reach to the bottom like it does more so on that one, right? Okay, so I'm going to take this, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, and we need to extend it just enough to put it down to the edge. Okay, so I'm going to take a carpet tool like this, carpet cutting tool. Okay, that, and then I'm going to put it right on the end of that. And of course, it's easier said than done, isn't it always? And you extend it and then you want to put a piece of tape around the edge of it. Okay? See? So now it reaches all the way down to the bottom. And you might see just a little bit of a gap down there, but it puts it down to the level on that. So you cut the straw, say about 2.5 inches, maybe 3 inches. Put it over the edge, throw a piece of tape around this edge right here, and now you can use the bigger jars. It's what we call homegrown engineering, folks. And it works. It's not pretty, but it works. Okay, so now I'm going to put that inside there, like that. Pull the coupling around because it's the same size. Voila, you've extended it to the point now that you can use the bigger jar. It's the little things. Yeah, it's the little things. And you know what? You know, it's funny. Is I can't even take credit for that. I can't take credit for that idea. So, a little bit in summary here. What we looked at was we looked at the old way of doing sealer, and then we looked at the new way of doing the sealer with an air compressor hose. The new way of doing the sealer, which is, it's not so unique, but wow, does it work really, really well. It sprays it even, and it sprays it solid. It's a solid tool. And you're going to see a lot of these kind of tools on the channel here. Well, I'm going to show you all these kind of little tricks and you know, things behind the scenes that I've learned over the years. And then, like I said, when you extend it with a straw, you get the bigger version where you can have more capacity. So, that's our summarization. I hope it helped you, and I hope it gave you more ideas on what you can do with your sealer with regard to wood signs, specifically on this video. But you can apply it to a lot of things. You can apply it to fence, walls, interior, you know, painting cabinets, latex, stain. You can use stain through it. There's many different applications, but for the purpose of this video, I was specifically just wanting to refer to wood signs. I like this method, but I prefer that one much better. It's a lot quicker, a lot more even. So hopefully this helped you out. Make sure you put any questions you might have with regard to this product. And again, I'm not sponsored by this product, so know that up front. Any questions you might have on this product, down in the comments, make sure you leave some comments down and give me your thoughts on what you do to seal your signs. And does that, you know, is this something that appeals to you? And any other questions you might have with regard to creation of wood signs. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video.